Hello, and a very warm welcome. Driver ratings for the Italian Grand Prix. All 20 drivers covered as we rate them out of 10 for their weekend. Probably my most favourite video to do. And thank you for the support recently. It's been insane. If you aren't subscribed, subscribe. Especially if you got the passion I have for Formula 1. Anyway, you're here for driver ratings. Let's go. Max, 9. Now, I would usually give him 10. I don't know. I've just give him 9 this weekend. He qualified second. He won the race. He had to fight for the win. It's 10 in a row. Yeah, I like that he had to fight for it. But did he really have to fight for it? 15 laps behind Carlos Sainz. And then he was into distance. Yeah, and he's achieved something no other driver has. Yeah, wow. Sergio Perez, 8. Now, he binned it in. He binned it. Was it practice 2? He binned it. Went off at the Parabolica. Yeah. He qualified 5th, finished 2nd. Good overtakes by Sergio Perez. And yeah, he showed a bit of aggression. He's got to be 2nd consistently. Yeah. 1-2. Good for Red Bull. Into Ferrari, and now I give huge praise to this team for letting their drivers race. Ferrari showed up at their home race. Charles Leclerc, 9. Yeah, qualified 3rd, finished 4th, almost ran into the back of Carlos Sainz. It was great racing, and that's what we want to see. It's brilliant by Scuderia Ferrari, and I'm going to give them big praise. They're not my favourite team, but they let their drivers race, and it was an epic fight between the two Ferrari men. Carlos Sainz, 10. Absolutely 10. My driver of the weekend. Carlos Sainz, stand up and be counted. Oh, he's absolutely standing up to Charles Leclerc. Wow, 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 Carlos. Pole position. He led the race for 15 laps. Then he dropped. He held Max off, held Perez off, held his teammate off. It was a warrior drive. It really was. And that's a big statement by Carlos Sainz. I heard he was getting burgled after. Imagine burgling someone who's is 100% out on that circuit. People these days. Into Aston Martin, Fernando Alonso, 4. Aston Martin's pace was shocking. Alonso qualified 10th, finished 9th. A disappointing event for Aston Martin. Lance Stroll, 0. 100% 0. I'm getting tired of this guy now. He qualifies last in an Aston Martin. What's that all about? He finishes 16th. And, yeah, just checking. He finished 16th. What is that all about? I have no idea. It's simply nowhere near good enough. Once again, stinking the joint out. Miles behind his teammate. Yeah, and he needs putting out of his misery. And Aston Martin have fallen to 4th in the Constructors because of one man, Lance Stroll. Lawrence Stroll needs to grow some balls and sack his son. I would sack him now. Lewis Hamilton, 2. It's got to be 2. A poor weekend for the 7-time champion. He qualified 8th. He finished 6th. Yeah, he went for the alternate strategy. Started on hards, then went to mediums, came through the field well. But what he did to Oscar Piastri is why he's picking up 2. I don't know what he's doing. Where do you want Oscar to go? You're side by side, coming into the chicane. Where do you want Oscar to go? He's still there. Lewis comes across, ruins Piastri's race. And for a 7-time champion to make that kind of mistake is inexcusable. George Russell, 8. A strong weekend. Since he's come back from the summer break, he's out-qualified Lewis twice and really should have outraced him twice. But yeah, solid. P5, that's the best he can do. He got a 5-second penalty, but yeah, crazy really. I mean, he should have just let Ocon back through. He wouldn't have got a penalty, but he would have finished 5th no matter what. On to McLaren. Quite disappointing for McLaren. Lando Norris, 5. Qualified 9th, finished 8th, stuck behind Alex Albon for the majority of the race. But I've got to call this out now. People are going to think this is because I don't like Lando Norris. Why are McLaren giving Lando Norris first pit stop? Because he's ahead in the drivers? Piastri was first out on track between the two McLarens, yet they pit Lando first, and then Lando jumps Oscar. Strange. Yeah, Oscar Piastri 5. Yeah, was running ahead of his teammate. The team boxed his teammate first, and then yeah, there was contact between the two McLarens. Oscar's fault, and then Lewis ruins Oscar's race. Oscar did get the fastest lap. He's a very unlucky driver as Piastri. Porntash, Duffman, wannabe Australian, 8. When was the last time Alfa Romeo scored points? Brilliant by Valtteri Bottas. P10, clean race, and that is a much needed point for Bottas and the team. Guan Yu Zhou 5, 14th, uneventful again. That's all I've got written down. Like I say, he's always the hardest driver to mark, is Guan Yu. Oh, Alpine, what a mucky weekend they've had. Wow. Esteban Ocon 0. P18 in qualifying, he went off coming out of Ascari. Retired. Awful weekend for Alpine. Gasly 0. Qualified 17th, finished 15th. Alpine, a horror weekend. Gasly on the podium last week in Zandvoort, tossing it up at the back in 17th. Well, what's that all about? Horror weekend for Alpine. 1'1" 1'1". He's got no luck, this guy. He really has. He's shown good pace all weekend. 1'1". Qualified 11th. Very unlucky. Doesn't even get to start the race. I mean, bloody hell. That's inexcusable by AlphaTauri. Liam Lawson 9. Now, Liam Lawson, you've got your chance, and he's taking his chance. He qualified 12th, finished 11th. Very impressive, and he's pulling the pressure on. Is Ricciardo's going to end up at Red Bull? Lawson could get the AlphaTauri drive, and Perez is out looking for a seat. Lawson doing very well. Will he be in the car for Singapore? Probably. Or will Ricciardo be back? We'll wait and see. Kevin Magnussen 0. Kevin Magnussen. What's gone on with this guy? Yeah, absolutely abysmal. Qualified 19th. It's a regular 0 on driver ratings for the Danishman. Finished 18th. Haas F1, no pace. Tyre degradation's awful. They go through the tyres. They do about 7 stops. No balance. No tyres. Shocking. Hulkenberg 4. Yeah, not really. He beats Magnussen. That's the only reason I give him 4. Qualified 13th. Finished 7th. Race pace not there. They go through the tyres. No balance. Really bad by Haas. Alex Albon 10. Yeah, we've not gave much 10s this weekend. I think that's the second one. He qualified 6. Unreal again, ahead of Logan Sargent. Finished 7th. Held off Norris, Piastri all race. Driving the widest Williams. It's a Williams, but it was more like a bloody 10-foot truck, wasn't it? Wow, superb Alex Albon. Logan Sargent 2. Qualified 15th. He needs to be sacked immediately. Finished 13th. Picked up a 5-second penalty for contact with, I think it was Bottas. Or he skipped the chicane, one of the two. And yeah, he's another one that needs sacked. Stroll, Magnussen and Sargent I would sack today, without a shadow of a doubt. So there we have it. Driver ratings for the Monza Grand Prix. A lovely video, a favourite video of mine. I love doing driver ratings. Comment down below, get involved, and yeah, we go on to Singapore next in a couple of weeks. Thanks for watching. 10 in a row for the Dutchman. 10 in a row. Spectacular statistic. Wow.